Hey guys and girls, so generally I just wanted to speak to those people out there who live in cities and have been considering getting an electric vehicle. I'm specifically gonna talk about my experience with this EUC and why it has been probably one of the best investments I've made in the past year.
I live in Valencia, Spain, and ever since I moved here, I've noticed that this city has really embraced bike lanes. The bike lanes themselves are probably a tourist attraction, but I can think of a few of the reasons why they have been embraced. The city is mostly flat, which if you're gonna travel by bike or electric vehicle, it makes things a lot easier. It was probably also done to alleviate public transport, and also the city isn't super large, so it makes sense to have the whole city interconnected with this infrastructure. As a result of having all these bike lanes, people actually use them a lot. People use them to go to work, people work on them, such as food delivery people. And the city is just so much more accessible to the average person. It's so much easier to just get your electric scooter or your bike and go somewhere than having to get your car out of the garage or having to look for parking afterwards or having to take public transport. It's just so much easier.
Now, before we continue, let me just give you a brief overview of the specs of this EUC. This EUC is more of a beginner level vehicle. There are far more powerful models out there which are more expensive and faster and have longer range. So this one in particular has a top speed of 25 kilometers per hour. And I would say for most people that is fine. Most people don't need to go faster than 25 kilometers per hour. If you are gonna go faster than that, you're probably gonna have to wear a lot more protection. The range, 35 kilometers. I've not been able to use up the whole battery in one day, which is good. The weight, it weighs in at 12 kilograms. Which you're really thankful for when you have to get off the EUC and carry it around. If you're gonna go upstairs or whatever, the weight is really light.
And the price is about 650 euros, depending on when you're looking for it. Now I'll speak for myself, for my own personal experience with this EUC and why it has been a winning investment for me. I do own a car, I don't commute to work in my EUC, and that's because the places I have to go to are just too far. Having said that, I have two main uses for my EUC, and that is running errands and just riding for the fun of it. So I'll give you an example of an errand. Usually, I would get my hair cut on a Friday afternoon, and if I didn't have my EUC, I would have to walk 4 or 5 minutes to my garage, get the car out, drive for 10 minutes, look for parking, pay for parking if I can't find a free spot. But because I have my EUC, I can just leave the house with the EUC, ride it for 7 or 8 minutes, enjoy the ride, enjoy the weather, and just get there in 8 minutes, no problem. So that there saves me time and money. Riding for the fun of it, I just feel free. I love going to the market on a Saturday morning and just feel the early morning sort of coolness of the air. I just love that sensation.
So as you can see, I'm right in the center of the city, and it's pretty well communicated with bike lanes. Definitely a lot of people using them, although it's a Sunday. This would be much busier during a weekday.
So for the question, should I get an EUC or an electric scooter or a normal bike? That just really depends. For me, it was clear. I wanted to have my hands free. I wanted to try something new. I've tried those electric scooters in the past. In fact, my wife owns one. They're really nice, they're great. They are really good for running around the city. What I didn't like as much was that you felt a lot of the bumps on the road. Now with the EUC, since the wheel is much larger in diameter, it really makes for a smoother ride.
So this terrain right here, seems okay, but when you're on an electric scooter, you really feel this a lot more.
As for a normal bike, it depends if you are going to use it to travel longer distances, if you want to do a bit of exercise, and if you have the space to store it. So just for convenience and evaluating all of the different elements around it, I ended up getting an EUC, and I do not regret it 1 second. Who would I recommend this to? I would recommend this EUC to somebody who's been looking for an electric vehicle, maybe wants to get into EUCs and doesn't want to spend a ton. Somebody who also lives in the city and has good access to bike lanes and maybe has an inner city commute to work, I would recommend this to. And who wouldn't I recommend this to? I wouldn't recommend this vehicle to you if your commute is longer than 7 or 8 kilometers each way, because it can get tiring even if you have enough range. Also, I wouldn't recommend it if your commute involves country roads or roads that cars go a lot faster next to you, because you'll just be putting yourself in danger. In conclusion, for me, this has been one of the best investments I have made in the past year. This EUC has given me hours on hours of enjoyment, pleasure, just riding around for fun, and convenience running errands. It has saved me time and money. Okay guys and girls, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and see you in the next one.
So there's definitely a learning curve. I'm not gonna say you're gonna learn this in 1 day. It took me 1 day really to just be able to stand on it without falling. And then the day after, so I slept on it, and then the day after I was able to sort of ride at the beginning, assisting myself on the wall. And then at the end of that day, I was able to sort of somewhat ride.